Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello students, a very warm welcome to the TV learning program as usual, where you learn and watch some of the lessons on TV. So as usual, I'm teacher Herbert, who is going to be taking you through the biology lesson of today. And the biology lesson I will be taking you through is the biology of senior 3, which is introduction, which is the interdependence among organisms and ecosystem. And the learning objective of today, we're going to talk about explain the other types of relationships. And we also have to talk about what you call a predator, a predator graph, to interpret the graph that shows a predator-prey. So students, as you know, in the last lesson, we talked about, this is lesson 2. On the last lesson, we talked about you tried to explain about the interspecific interdependence and intraspecific independence. A student who can remind me about what is an intraspecific competition or relationship. We talked about interspecific relationship. We talked about intraspecific relationship. So student who can remind me what is the intraspecific relationship. Think about it and tell me what is intraspecific relationship. Good. Let's remind ourselves the review of the previous lesson is on about intraspecific relationship and the interspecific relationship or interaction. The relationship which involves intra, and we try to mention some of the examples. We are making a review of the previous lesson. We said intraspecific relationship. This is a type of relationship that occurs between same species. The relationship, they interact, and you find both of organs they are benefiting in the relationship. We have then inter. We said student inter means different species, where different species they do interact and benefit from each other. And we go ahead. We went ahead and talked about in a competition. Where a competition, we talked about a competition is where it occurs between organisms that either of the same species or different species. And we said there are two types of competition. One is interspecific competition. Another one is intraspecific competition. Another one is interspecific competition. Let's talk about the definition. Let's remind ourselves about the competition. We said the competition on that. Competition. In competition, we said is the relationship that occurs between organisms either of same species or different species. And we said under this competition, we have two types of competition. Two types of competition. We have one is intraspecific competition. We have the second one, have the interspecific competition. I think we know, students, we talked about these two types of competition, where I said there is interspecific competition and intraspecific competition and interspecific competition. Intraspecific competition, we said this is a type of competition that is raised between species of the same species. And then inter, we said it is a type of competition that is raised between species of different species. Let's have examples of the intra. We had examples of intra-specific competition. We said male lions competing for female for mating partners, when the males are competing for mating partners. We also talk about these male lions also competing for territories. They are the same species competing for resources. We said, what are those resources should just be competing for? They have to be competing for food, shelter, and also they have to protect their territories. In protecting their territories, they also, that is a competition can just be raised from there. And we said these depends on the same, when they are depending on the same resources and ecosystem. When organs are depending on the same resources and ecosystem, that one can create a competition among themselves. When a competition is raised from different species competing for the same limited resources, that one is referred as interspecific competition. So quickly, let's go quickly to other types of interactions. And in simple terms, let's conclude it and say if it happens between organs of different species, that one is interspecific competition. When the examples I gave you an examples of wild beasts and zebras and buffaloes competing for grasses in the savanna areas. That is interspecific competition. We can have leopards and lions competing for food in the same ecological niche. That one also brings what we call interspecific competition. So students, I can make it very clear, when it happens on the same species, when the competition is raised between same species, is referred as intraspecific competition. When it happens to different species, that one is referred to as interspecific competition. I have mentioned very many examples. And I said you have to talk about and say, a competition is only found in organs with the same, when they are competing in the same ecological niche or in a closed niches, all right? We talked about a cooperation last time. Students, do you remember what is a cooperation? A cooperation, we said, is a kind of interaction in which organs of the same species live together and share work between themselves. They have to share work between themselves. They live together. Students who can remind me the examples of the cooperation I talked about. Good. We talked about bees. We talked about ants. These are social insects. Most of social insects, they live in a cooperative way. Take an example in bees, we have the workers, the drones, and even the queen. We have those that are responsible for protecting the family. We have those that are responsible for bringing the food to the family. So that is a cooperation. Examples are found in social insects such as ants, termites, bees, and other groups of insects. So let's talk about other types of interactions. Other types of interactions. And there are other types of interactions. So you can call it to be interrelationships. Other types of interactions or relationships. Other types of interactions. We have other types of interactions apart from the intra and inter. There are other types of interactions. We can say same organisms interacting in the same environment is called intra. Different organisms interacting in the same environment in order to survive is referred to as inter. And when that is different organism is called inter, same organs are called intra. Intra is same organism, then inter is different organisms. There are a number of interaction between species. Examples of this, we are going to discuss it today. Examples are of other types of interactions. We have parasitism. We have predation. We have mutualism. We have commensalism. We have amensorism. And erroropath. So students, quickly, let's discuss deeply these other kinds of interactions. Let's start with parasitism. What is parasitism? Think about it, and then you let me, and you define for me what is a parasite. Some of the organisms, they live in a relationship of being a parasite and being a host, another one being a host. So parasitism is a non-mutual relationship where one organ benefits, another one suffers in the relationship. And that one that benefits in the relationship is referred to as a parasite. The one that suffers or but is harmed in the relationship is referred to as a host. Take this note and we have the examples. Let's start with a parasitism. You underline the word parasitism. Then after underlining the word parasitism, and what are parasites? Parasitism. This is a non-mutual relationship between different species of organisms in this type of relationship where one organism benefits and another suffers, and the other organism suffers. Another organism suffers in the relationship. Students, think about, I said this is a kind of relationship, as I mentioned it, one species benefits where the other suffers in the relationship. So one benefits in the relationship, another one suffers in the relationship. Student, and I said, the organ that benefits is a parasite, right? The organism that benefits is the parasite. And the one that is harmed or suffers, that is harmed or suffers, is a host. So you underline those two words, a host and a parasite. A host and a parasite. So underline these two words. The one that suffers is a host. The one that benefits is a parasite. Let's have examples. Examples, we have fleas, we have rice, we have ticks. And there are two types of parasites. If you remember, students, who can remind me the two types of parasites? We have the endoparasites. This is number one. Number two, we have ectoparasites. Endo are found inside the body. Then ecto are found on the body surface, on the surface of the body. On the surface of the body. Quickly, I can mention that parasites are involved in what you call, I can use some signs. Parasite, if you say parasites, let me just use some signs. Put some signs here. Parasite, it is one organ benefits, another one is harmed. It is plus and a minus. If you say plus and a minus, one organ benefits. Let me use some colored jokes. This is a plus, and this is a minus. One organ benefits, another one is harmed. That one that loses is minus. That one that benefits is a plus. Let's go to the second one, which is called predation. Predation. What is predation? What do you understand by predation? Predation. What is predation? When you say predation, it's the hunting and killing and eating other organisms. It involves what you call hunting and killing other organisms. That is another type of interaction. Predation. Predation you can write, which is also plus and a minus. Let me just use this plus and a minus. One organism will just lose, another will benefit. Predation is the hunting and killing and eating. These are three things that is going to happen. Eating of another organism, for food. Eating another organism for food. So that one involves what is predation. A predator is an organ that kills and eats another. If you say a predator, this predator is an organism that kills and eats the other organism, and the prey is an organism that is killed and eaten. That's what you call that is killed and eaten. That's what you call. So predation is a relationship where that involves what you call hunting and killing and eating of another organism for food. And a predator is an organism that kills and eats another. A prey is an organ that is killed and eaten by a predator. Let's talk about mutualism. Mutualism. What do you understand by mutualism? Mutualism. Mutualism. The word mutual means living together, where both different organs benefits in the relationship. Both different organs benefit from the relationship. What is mutualism, students? Think about it and you tell me what are mutualism. Mutualism, that is two. Number one was parasitism. Then three, talk about mutualism. The word mutualism, the word mutual means to live together, where it is like you wash my hands and also wash your hands. I have to benefit from you and you also have to benefit from me. But most of this happens between organisms of different species. Different species benefiting from each other, that one is mutualism. Take a note about this one. Take a note about this one. Refers to an interaction between organisms of two different species, where both benefits in the relationship. Both they benefit in the relationship. None is harmed, none that loses. So simply I can add some symbols here, below here. Below here, the symbols, they benefit. This is a plus. Both organs benefit in the relationship. There's nothing is going to be harmed. So this relationship, both species enhances the survival. Both of the species are enhancing the survival. And examples, what are the examples of mutualism? Examples, let's have examples. Examples, we have insects and flowers, insects and plants. Insects and plants, both of them, they benefit from each other. Insects, they normally help to do pollination to the flowering plants. Let me just be specific. And I say insects and flowering plants. Insects and flowering plants. Flowering plants. Because the insects are going to help the plants in process of pollination, as well as the insects are going to get nectars from the plants. That's number one. Example two, we can talk about nitrogen-fixing bacteria. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria and leguminous plants. And leguminous plants. Examples of leguminous plants, we talk about cereals. So how does these nitrogen-fixing bacteria are also going to do what you call a mutualistic relationship? The nitrogen-fixing bacteria, they help to convert nitrogen because we know that nitrogen is normally found abundantly in atmosphere. And the plant cannot absorb nitrogen because nitrogen is a non-reactive element. So what happens, it means that that nitrogen has to be brought by the rain once it goes into the soil. The nitrogen is going to be converted from nitrogen into nitrate. And if I say nitrate, now the plant is able to absorb it in the form of nitrate. How are these nitrogen-fixing bacteria? Examples of nitrogen-fixing bacteria, I can mention about Rhizobacter. How are they going to benefit? They benefit from leguminous plants by getting free shelter, free food, and other benefits. The last one, the last example I can give is egrets that follows cows. Because if they are following the cows, once cows are feeding in a farm or in the grasses, automatically some insects, they start jumping, and the egrets, these white birds, are able to identify them and they get food. All right? So, and even not only that, the ticks on cows are eaten by these egrets. The cow is going to be getting released from the pests, from the parasites, and as well as the egret is getting the food. Let's talk about commensalism. And commensalism. Number 4, another form of relationship, we have what you call commensalism. Commensalism. Commensalism is another form of interaction, but there I will just use some symbols, which is the symbols I will use. It is a plus and a minus. A plus and zero, plus and zero. What do you understand by commensalism? Commensalism is another type of interaction where one organ benefits in the relationship, another is neither harmed or affected. Commensalism, write that one. Commensalism is a relationship between two organisms where only one benefits, while the other is neither benefits or harmed. Or harmed. If I say harmed or affected, it is neither harmed or affected. Examples, we have some of this kind of relationship that one organ will just be benefiting. Another one is neither harmed or affected. So quickly, I can say I can give an example of what are commensals, or an examples of commensals. Where one organ can benefit, another one is neither harmed. We have some bacteria that we live with them in our daily life. These bacteria, we stay with them in our homes. When you eat a bread, and some of the leftovers falls on a floor, the bacteria will get something to eat, but you are not harmed at all. It is getting the food, and for you are neither affected or harmed. That's why I use the symbol a plus. One will benefit, another is neither affected or harmed. So examples, we can have examples here, examples of that. Examples, we have a ramora fish. A ramora fish is a fish which normally flows, a ramora fish and a shark. Once a shark, we know that a shark is among of the predators, I can mention. The ramora fish must be always following the shark and attaches itself on a shark. Once it attaches itself on a shark, and once the shark kills the prey and crushes it, some of the leftovers that are left by the shark, the ramora will come and feed on them. The shark is neither affected or harmed, but the ramora is benefiting. That is an example of commensalism, as I'm giving an example of commensalism. So there are other forms of interactions. We have eropacy and we have amensalism. Amensalism, that is one organism affects another one. So quickly, let's work together. The other homework that I left with you last time. Last time I left with you the homework. What is the difference between intraspecific and interspecific relationship? Student, we can say, I would just do one number, the two numbers for you, the remaining other numbers you have to do it yourself. Interspecific relationship, the interspecific relationship, that is a type of relationship that exists between organisms of the same species. This one involves same species. Let me say same species. If I take an example, like lions and etc. When they are that type of relationship where same organisms are benefiting from each other and of the same species is referred as intraspecific. This one is involving different species. So once it is involving different species, and once they are benefiting from each other, that one is referred interspecific relationship. Mutualism, both organisms. Benefits both organisms. So students, I'm leaving you the other two numbers, and you have to do it. We are going to discuss it in the next onset of the next lesson. Thank you very much for being with me in my lesson, and thank you very much for active participation and watching. See you next time.